Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to thank all you guys across NewTek, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for all of your guys' continued support, and of course everyone here on YouTube here in 2025.
We start things off from Fox News. California wildfire victims left wondering where $100 million went following FireAid benefit concert. Money directed to 188 nonprofits instead of direct payments. Well, I can kind of see how that could be a problem when you have that many working parts. The star-studded benefit concert that raised more than $100 million for wildfire victims in California is itself under fire for how the money was spent. I have not seen any benefit from the FireAid money, and I am very involved here, and neither have my neighbors, said David Howard, who lost 2 homes in Pacific Palisades. So we have FireAid itself. Okay, FireAid billed itself as a benefit concert for wildfire victims. Aside from music by the likes of Lady Gaga, Jelly Roll, Katy Perry, and Olivia Rodrigo, the 5-hour show featured multiple stories from victims and the Altadena and Palisades fire who lost their homes. So let's take a listen here from Fox News. I'm not going to play too much into it because I don't want to get a hit from the concert or music that they may play in the background.
For FireAid, the star-studded benefits concert has raised more than $100 million. This in the aftermath of the LA wildfires, but that money does not seem to be making it into the hands of the victims. We have heard about this story. We wanted to learn more. William Lajeunesse is digging into it live in LA now. And William, what have you found? Hello.
Well, Bill, you know, thousands of people open their wallets, right, to help people in need. So we asked FireAid 6 months later, how much in services, product, or cash went to the fire victims, and how many fire victims did you help? Well, it declined to answer that and other questions we had about where the money went.
Everyone, please go to fireaidla.org and give what you can. All of the money raised will go directly to people who need it now and towards long-term efforts to build the communities back.
And so obviously they did this earlier in the year. And then we have here from Wall Street Apes, California Rep. Kevin Kiley officially asking the Attorney General to investigate where the missing $100 million in Pacific Palisades fire aid went.
Mr. Speaker, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to open an investigation into the FireAid concert that took place in the aftermath of the devastating Los Angeles fires. What has happened, what we have learned, is absolutely beyond belief. In the aftermath of these fires, which destroyed 18,000 homes and killed, tragically, 30 people, there was a FireAid concert in which a number of high-profile musicians generously agreed to perform, and people responded in an amazing way. Tens of thousands of people donated, raising $100 million for what they were told was direct relief for the victims. But now we've learned that this money didn't go to the victims at all. Instead, it went to nonprofits, some of which have nothing to do with fire relief, where they promote things like voting and civic engagement and multi-generational power building. Some of them aren't even located in LA. So I've asked the Attorney General to open an investigation in order to restore the intent of the donors, in order to make the victims whole and to bring accountability.
Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. And we have here from One America News. Let me make sure that it is recycled back, because I had gone through all these citing and making sure all the volume checks and everything were done correctly. So One America News, we have, where's the money? Show us the receipts. And they have here is David Tagipa, who is, as I understand it, the first Tongan to be a member of public service. So I found it kind of fascinating, but from the Polynesian islands there. So good for David, and we'll go ahead and give it a listen here. This is Matt Gates.
Assemblyman, what are the questions you're asking about where this wildfire money went?
Well, I think this is actually pulling out a large-scale exposure of what's been going on here with the nonprofit industrial complex that's built into the Democratic Party and the leadership here in this state. Where's the money? And what is it actually doing for the people around? I think LA, and this is going to wake up a lot more people in that LA region that's really dominated by Democrat control, that their money is gone and it's not helping them. And so the questions that we are going to ask is, where's the money? And show us the receipts. If $100 million has been raised, there is something that needs to be done. And what we have seen in LA is there is nothing being done. And these people are just being left out to dry.
That's a shame too, to know that and to realize that this is happening. And this is the major problem with bureaucracy, is that money gets donated, like we just saw with the money that was being sent to Gaza, as Donald Trump had mentioned, and I looked into that as well. But it's just extraordinary. Well, just like look at Doge and look at the corruption that they found under Doge and the misplacement of money, the mismanagement of money, the misuse of money. And all sorts of things are happening in the background as a result of many of these organizations not having received their money. It's quite fascinating, actually, the story behind what we've seen and haven't seen lately as a result of that whole initial U.S. aid investigation, which isn't U.S. aid as in humanitarian relief per se, right? It's U.S. Agency for International Development. Now, they do the infrastructure and other things that allow for these areas to get aid and so forth. So it's quite fascinating how all that works. Now, I asked my crack staff, also known as ChatGPT, if you guys haven't already, some of these AIs are quite nice. Their first tier level. Now, I'm not paid for any of them, but like their free tier level is actually quite nice. So I asked ChatGPT here, who were the nonprofits that received the $100 million from the First Aid concert? Now, I'm not going to read through each one of these, but I'll allow you guys to pause and take a look at some of these, like Project Camp, the Pasadena Humane Society. We got the California Native Vote Project. We got the Altadena Talks Foundation, the Pasadena NAACP After the Fire. And you guys, of course, can just pause at any of these places. Here's some additional more here from the summary table and some additional context and information that you can read about that. And in summary, we see that over 120 nonprofits have been selected as recipients of FireAid funds. So then I also asked the staff to check in on how the rebuilding is going. And here's what we know about restoration following the Pacific Palisades fires. And we see that debris removal and permits, debris clearances began 35 days after the fire. That's good. Within 57 days, the city issued the first rebuilding permits. That's also good, but that's still a long time if you think about it, 57 days. But they say here that it was far quicker than previous wildfires like the Woolsey fire. And then by mid-May, we had 1,500 parcels, had full debris clearance, and 54 construction permits have been issued, covering 40 addresses in the Pacific Palisades. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, you have examples of the restoration. And then we have the Loops family here. And then, of course, we have construction standards and design. You can check into that. And community rebuilding beyond homes. And it's quite extraordinary. GPT really helps out a lot with this stuff, because I know these are some of the questions that I have. Because what we do here on the BuzWeaver channel is we just take the information, we try to aggregate it down so that it gets straight to the point and you get the answers to what you're looking for. But very interesting here on Assemblyman Tangipa being the first Tongan, apparently, to be in public office. So that was kind of interesting. So good luck to him. He's in District 8 there in California. For all you guys out in California under District 8, you got a great guy there. But I'd love to get your thoughts down in the public section, comment section. And what are your thoughts on what happened out here with this $100 million? And do you think that any of the people in California are going to receive any sort of aid from this concert? Of course, all of the people participating in it probably were doing, well, they did it for free. And, of course, we're hoping to help out the people there in California. But California, what a mess out there, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, thank you guys across New Tech, BitChute, and Rumble. And that's what I had for you guys. Of course, YouTube as well. And we'll get that in the closing now. So that's what I had for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, as well as my affiliate marketing. That would be Amazon down there for all of you guys who order frequently from Amazon or a Prime member. You guys can use my landing page link safely. And speaking of being safe online, my favorite virtual private network, VPN Trust Zone, is down there. It's no fuss, straight to the point, get things done. I appreciate that. But guys, thank you so much across New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. Your likes, your shares, and your comments help out the channel tremendously, and I appreciate all of that support. Appearing there on the screen, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe. as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys behind the Galaxy phone camera next week.